Welcome back. Today we are going to explore the ever-changing world of AI with an ethical approach to these powerful assistants that can help you save time and resources. So remember that this is an iterative technology that can be challenging from time to time to navigate and understand without risking ethical implications. So we're going to share the purpose of helpful AI applications for a plethora of tasks and responsibilities. We'll get into best practices, guiding principles, including some of the more popular platforms that will help you get started, or if you're already using AI, help refine your existing AI strategies. All right, so welcome back. Another Marketing Monday. We are so excited and appreciative that you're with us. Thank you to everyone who's on with us today. And if you're attending for the first time, welcome. My name is PJ Orchansky. I am a full-time communication director at Appalachian State University, and I also work on the marketing and PR team here at Uplift. And our Marketing Monday anchor, our Uplift communication expert, and other host, Kara Treadway, is also joining us today, and she will be managing the chat. So if you have questions or anything pops up, feel free to just leave them in the chat, and we will address them as we get towards the end. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at today's blueprint so we can go over what we'll be covering today in our Marketing Monday session. So AI today, which is probably going to be different than AI yesterday and AI tomorrow because it is always changing. So we're going to start there. Then we'll get into AI categories. So essentially what AI is used for. So what tasks or ongoing responsibilities are often most associated with artificial intelligence. Then we will explore best practices as it refers to prompt engineering. So in other words, if or when you're using AI, you will likely be improving your prompt instructions. And so you'll become what is known as a prompt engineer. So pretty exciting stuff there. And then we'll dive a little bit into popular platforms. So we'll cover just a few of the most popular platforms for AI. And these are ones that are created by organizations like Microsoft, Google, OpenAI. And then we'll get into some guiding principles. So we'll talk about steps that we all need to take to uphold the integrity, accuracy, and privacy of the content that is created through the use of AI. Then we'll talk about best use. So we're going to dig in even a little bit deeper, especially as tourism practitioners. And we'll walk through some of our favorite tasks that we have found to use AI that can help save time and energy. Then we'll get into top things to remember. So yes, AI can help save time and energy. However, there are some really important things to note. So be sure to stick around till the end, and we will talk about some of the challenges of using AI, which then leads us into overcoming AI challenges. And then we'll get into some Q&A, and then we'll kick back to our key takeaways. And so I feel like today, especially with this topic, if we do have some questions and answers, I want to make sure we have time for those. And then at the very end, we will cover all the stuff to take with you. All right, so AI today. So it's a tool. Think of it as a knowledgeable mentor, a leader in terms of knowledge, so like a research librarian or a communication co-pilot. It can supercharge your efforts and efficiently streamline your communication, which is more crucial than ever before. And so think of it as a conversation with someone who is great at taking constructive criticism. All right, so how do we integrate AI tools into our communication strategy? Let's take a look. All right, so AI categories. First and foremost, so important, written communication. So really any type of interaction, you basically type out what you want and it sends back copied verbiage text and helps you craft new communication. So it could be email, it can be an overview, or even an agenda for a meeting or a presentation. Next is image generation. So think about something for presentations, it could be graphics, it could be something really good for websites that you need. Some of the platforms there are DALL-E, Midjourney, Canva. Number 3 is data analysis. So here's where you would upload spreadsheets, data files, PDFs, really more comprehensive information into an AI tool and it will help summarize or analyze that information. And this helps us to be more effective when sharing ideas and also can help make our arguments stronger. And so some example platforms are ChatGPT, Anthropic, and Microsoft Copilot. And then finally, multimodal. So this is any combination of the first three or all of them. So images, audio, full conversations. Think about Zoom, Runway, ImageBind, Charisma Coach. For example, you can upload a Zoom meeting into AI and then ask it to make the meeting effective or make it shorter with the same output. All right, so let's look at some best practices for prompt engineering. So just one high-level tip, the more information that you can give your AI tool, the better your response is likely going to be. So first, inform the AI tool about you. Tell the AI tool your writing style, your core values of your brand, your desired word count, your tone, really everything that is more of like a background, things that to help it get to understand how you communicate. Then you want to provide your end goal. So think about, what is the goal of this communication task? For example, if the goal is for my audience to take such and such step, like to sign up, to respond with interest, to click on buy now, make sure you put that in there so it understands what it is you're trying to accomplish. Next, you want to share your preferences. So, and that's with each prompt. So I prefer maybe this to sound empathetic, or I want this to be in an authentic voice, or professional, or more casual, or like it's coming from an expert. All of those are really important so it understands how it needs to be communicated. And don't settle for the first response, especially if it's not what you want. Feel free to give feedback, even if it's something simple like do better, make it shorter, make it longer, clarify, be more concise. Be sure to tell it what you want and what you don't want in your communication so that it can help you give a desired response. And then also check to see if the AI tool that you're using has custom instructions in the settings. This would be where you would go into the settings of that tool and tell it something that applies to all of its responses to you. So if it's something that you're specifically using just for email and you want to make sure that it's going to have your brand voice or tone in there, you could also put that into the settings so you don't have to repeat that on the prompts every time. And then you also want to share details about your audience, who it is that you're communicating to, what they already know, or what maybe they used to think, but now you want them to think something different. You can describe your audience. You can talk about their demographics, their psychographics, their interest, education level. And then here's a pro tip. You can also copy a link to someone's person, like somebody's LinkedIn profile, and put that in your prompt. And so it knows a little bit more about the background of your audience and how they communicate or things that they're interested in. And so that's really effective in being able to really customize that email or communication piece to that specific individual. All right, so we've kind of briefly mentioned a couple of these, but just by entering into the chat, either with a thumbs up or a hand, who has heard of ChatGPT? I'll give you just a second to put that in there. All right, awesome. So that's one of the more popular ones. There's ChatGPT and then ChatGPT Plus. The first one is a free version. The Plus is about $20 a month as of last week, and can help you with content creation, language translation, and really a variety of tasks. It's a great overall starter, or even for professionals to be able to use that for a variety of things. Next is Microsoft Copilot. And this one runs about $30 a month. It's great for data analysis, visualization, idea generation, automated content generation. Next is Perplexity AI. And they do have a free version, so it's great to be able to try. And they also have a $20 a month pro plan. And this one's great for research. And keep in mind, a lot of these have like a free trial, so you can always test them out depending on what your needs are. And then there's Anthropic Claude 3. They have a free version. They also have a $20 a month version for professionals, and then also $30 per person per month for team use. And this one can summarize complex content, help out with research papers and reports to really summarize large bits of information. And then just a side note, as I was researching some of this, Amazon invested about $4 billion into Anthropic in March, just a few months ago. So this one might be one to watch. And then, of course, Google's going to have their hand in there with Google Gemini, and they have a free version up to $20 a month for the advanced version. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about the purpose of AI, some common tasks, as well as some platforms that are out there, let's look at some guiding principles for working ethically with AI. So first and foremost, make sure that you are upholding accuracy and integrity. So AI may unintentionally miscommunicate or incorrectly respond to your prompt. It does sometimes take a little bit of practice to be able to prompt effectively. So you want to always double check the answer that you get or that response to ensure that it aligns with your intended message. You also want to make sure that you respect privacy concerns. Now, because this is still somewhat of a fairly new technology, you want to check with your company to see if they have a policy as to if you can use AI, if certain tools you're allowed to, if there are certain AI tools you're allowed to use, and if what you are entering into AI prompts is sensitive, protected, or restricted information. Next, and this is something that just goes along with any communication, is to be culturally sensitive. AI cannot always navigate through those nuances. So it's really important to make sure that you look at each response and read through it. And then practice transparency and disclosure. Ultimately, you are responsible for everything you say and write. So do not use AI to replace your authentic voice. Consider disclosing the use of AI if you've got communication pieces that were put together with significant AI contributions. And it's pretty interesting. I know for me and the little bit that I've used over the last, say, year to 18 months, that there are certain things that I just continue to, write all of it. And then other times I will use AI for idea generation or to maybe get me started or to see what it puts together and see if there's any additional notes that I maybe didn't think of. All right, so now let's look a little bit deeper into AI for tourism. So emails, this can be incredibly helpful in addressing simple requests or answering popular questions. You could also create an email blueprint that helps you to incorporate your tone, your voice, your style, and communication goals into every email. So think about, you attend a conference or you're in meetings all day. We've all done this. We come back, we've got 40 emails, and we're kind of flooded with that amount of work to do on top of the communication. So emails can be a great way to be able to respond quickly and consistently to emails. So some examples might include, putting together an email blueprint that's friendly, authentic, professional, charismatic, memorable, concise, and then add information about your audience. So it can also be on the receiving end. If you get a long email, like I said, you come back from an all-day conference and your emails you have a lot of emails, and the first one you open is like a book, right? You've been there, you go to the next one. So you could always plug in that long email into AI and ask it to summarize, and that certainly can help you in saving some time as you respond to some of those long emails. Next, content creation. So you could prompt AI with, act as an expert on such and such topic, or help me create a content calendar with various engaging content. I want a newsletter, 10 social media posts, a giveaway, and another in-person idea, and use our organization's brand voice and tone, to make it more personal. So this is just one example of something that you're telling it to do to help you generate some ideas for content. Compelling copy. So tell it to be part of your writing team or a creative writing partner, or you tell it to do something, it sends back a response, and now you say, let's make it more compelling, or it needs to be more authentic, or add a story about such and such. And You could also use a style or a tone of a famous person. So I want this to come back and sound like Winston Churchill or Martin Luther King Jr., something like that. Include what you want it to include and what you prefer for supporting documents. So I only want to use academic journals in supporting this piece. And you can ask it to fix errors or make it more clarifying, shorten it, less boring, include audience preferences, or make it more conversational or more formal, or tell it to use humor. All of these are prompts that you can use to kind of help get exactly what you're looking for, or just be more creative. Presentations are a great way to get some ideas utilizing AI. You could start with the big idea. Tell AI one big takeaway from your presentation and how it should support your idea. I want stories, I want data, I want a certain style of presenting, and then ask it to make it better. Social media posts. This is a great example of just testing out the waters with AI. You might say, I'll provide you with a month's worth of social media post ideas on this topic. Make sure you include these such and such things with this tone, be creative, whatever it might be. And it'll spit out a bunch of ideas. And maybe even if it gives you just a couple to start off, it definitely can save you some time. And then paid advertising. Maybe you have a digital campaign where you need to come up with 3 key messages, and each one of those needs 3 or 4 different size digital ads, and you can ask AI to help you with that. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about how we use it in tourism, here are some top things to remember. So first and foremost, fact check. AI is not human, so always fact check to make sure that you agree with the answers that it provides. So be mindful of the less human side of AI when prompting. So since it's known, AI has been known for being repetitive and wordy, essentially saying the same thing over and over. Be direct and tell it to keep it concise and clear. Prompt it to minimize communication weaknesses. And then stay organized. Keep track of what's working. If you find some specific prompts that you really like, the results, save them for later. You can always use them in a file or reuse them with updated names or other variables. Right. So we talked a little bit about the wordiness. This is where we would suggest that you be very specific with your AI tools about your desired length, its purpose, your goals, who the audience is, and what they prefer. AI understands context, but you do have to be firm, direct, and clear. Is it authentic? Prompt it to cite your sources or use data or use historical examples. Or please use only academic or professional resources. If you have trouble getting the desired response, use a sample copy of something else and say, hey, this is what I want, but emulate it with new objectives and new goals or a new tone or style or brand personality. And it doesn't lack that human emotion. You can tell AI to use human psychology to come up with a better response. And this will help it to become more engaging. You also can ask it to form opinions. Ask me questions as the prompt engineer so you understand my stance, or tell it to be more persuasive in its writing, or communicate with more confidence. And then also something as simple as try again or do better can provide you with a better result. Let's go into our key takeaways since everybody has been patient and we want to stay under that 30 minutes. So first, create custom instructions. This is something where, if you write a lot of emails or you're using AI for a specific task, go ahead and create some custom instructions. Maybe it's something that you communicate back and forth with your team a lot or the boss a lot, and you want to make sure that your emails sound consistent. So that's something that you can put together. Be thorough, be specific. The more information that you can give the AI tool, the better your results are going to be. Don't settle for the first response. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times, but you don't want to settle in general. You always want the best, right? Whether it's your personal performance or something where you're prompting. So you may have to re-engineer your prompt. Test out different AI tools. A lot of them have those free versions or free like 7-day trials. And depending on what your purpose is and what your tasks are, when I Googled, if you just type into Google how many AI tools are out there, because there are so many being added daily, it says that there are probably hundreds of thousands. I don't even know, but there's a lot out there. So test some different ones out. And then you have to be the engineer. You have to engineer the human side of the result. Remember, AI is not human, so make sure that if you want to continue to have that empathetic, that human side of it, that you'll need to add that in. And then AI is not your competition, it is your co-pilot. A lot of people are concerned that AI is going to take over. I think that for people who know how to use AI, you're going to stay ahead of the competition. And so just think of it as an assistant, similar to what Uplift is. It's an extra set of helping hands. And I've been frustrated with it before. If it's not working, take a break, try it again, or continue to do what you've done in the past, because probably what you're putting together is going to be the best thing. And then I want to just credit LinkedIn Learning. I watched a few different segments on AI to be able to put this together. It's changing all the time, but there is some really good information that's out there, and this is just sort of scratching the surface. But I think it's definitely something that can assist in your day-to-day with some of the simple tasks that can really save you some time and energy. So that is about it for today, right at 4:30. Oof.
Good job.
Right. Well, Megan and Bruce, thank y'all for joining us. We really appreciate it. That's a lot of information. We are happy to stick around and answer any other questions you may have, or if you think of stuff later, you're welcome to reach out to us. Kara, if you can, put our contact information in the chat, and we can follow up with you after.
Angela also is here. So thank you, Angela, for.
Oh, thank you, Angela.
And as always, if you guys have any questions or want to, book a one-on-one with PJ and Kara, they're available for you guys. If you guys have any other topics that you guys are interested in, let them know. They are happy to do the research and bring you more information about it.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Hessa and Taylor. Have a great week, y'all.